Hello, everyone. Welcome to my seventh Entrypoint Waterfast. Today is the fourth day that I've been drinking water only. Actually, the fourth day finished yesterday evening, so this is actually my fifth day. But it doesn't matter because, just so you know, in case you don't know me, I'm George, and all the information why I do the fasting and about the benefits you can find in the description to this video. And this seventh entry point water fast, especially in a way that about, I think, 2-3 weeks ago, I published a video where I said, hey guys, I will be starting my seventh water fast on February 15th. Come and join me. And during the next 2 weeks, I will try to give you reasons why you should start. Now, of course, on my YouTube profile, you can find all the videos about fasting and also about the philosophy that I call Entrypoint, and they are under the two playlists that I have listed in the description to this video, because this is not just a regular water fast, but this is Entrypoint water fast, and this means that I'm trying to turn fasting into into a tool that can actually change your life. And in the video prior to the water fast, called "Why Everyone Should Do 7-Day Water Fast," I talked about the reasons why you should do it for at least 7 days. And I also promised you that during the fasting, I would be doing videos to support you. I already did one on day one, and now I'm doing another one. So this stream is actually aimed towards those of you who right now are fasting with me, or those who in the future reach their fourth day of fasting or third day or are thinking about it, and this could be an inspiration to you. So in this video, I will talk about the comparison between fasting and meditating. Now, probably most of you are familiar with meditation, and meditation is an activity. It's like if you talk about running or weightlifting, it's great, but you for example, weightlifting is an activity to increase muscle strength. Running is an activity to increase your aerobic strength. And the the act of meditating is an activity that leads towards strengthening your let's call it consciousness or awareness muscle. And I will tell you in this video how fasting is also an activity, such as meditation, that leads into strengthening your consciousness and awareness muscles. And I will actually talk about it, comparing meditation and fasting. Also, if you don't know anything about meditation, it will probably sound like what I'm saying is crazy. So I prefer you reading something about meditating, meditation, and what is the aim of standard meditation, so that I don't sound crazy to you. So anyway, let's move on. So when you start meditating, let's talk about meditation right now. So when you start meditating, you sit down, you close your eyes, you take few breaths, and you do two types of meditation. One is that you focus on single point, and the other one is that you don't focus on anything. And while you're doing this, thoughts will appear, and I'll give you an example of a simple meditation. You just sit down, you close your eyes, you take a few deep breaths, let's say for about 30 seconds, a minute, to relax, to slow down. And then you start counting your breaths, and your meditation could be that you will be counting 100 breaths. So 1, 2, right? So you close your eyes, you breathe like this, and you pay attention to the breath. And as you go up to the 100, you will notice that thoughts will start appearing, and various feelings will appear. And every now and then, I would bet before you get to 20 breaths, your attention would be caught by something. The thought will catch your attention. You will get involved in the thought, and then within the thought, you will realize that you were taken away from the paying attention to the breath, and you return back and you start again from zero. So 1, 2, 3, and again when you get distracted, you come back. And a lot of people get really upset at themselves because they say, you know what, I cannot concentrate. The thoughts really grab my attention. And to that, I always say, well, that's fine. What no, it's like when you lift weight, the act of lifting the weight is the act that mainly makes the muscle grow. So during the meditation, the act, the act that makes your, let's call it consciousness muscle grow, is the act then when you are within a dream, you realize within the capture of the thought, you realize that you should not be thinking this thought because you should be concentrating on breathing, and that you got distracted. And the act of realization, that's what makes you stronger. So then you come back, and again you sit down and you breathe and you start from one, and you will notice that the the most people think that the main goal is to reach the moment where you just keep counting and no thoughts appear. No, because they will always appear. But the way you get to the point where no thoughts appear is that when you, every single moment during the meditation, but also during then later your everyday life, you are aware of what's happening within your awareness, and you don't ever get captured in some thought and that you lose the the awareness of the present moment. So that's exactly what's happening during meditating. You're breathing, thoughts are appearing, you're still fine, and eventually a thought catches your attention, and in that moment, then you are captured. And then during the when you're captured in the thought, you realize that you should be breathing. You come back and you start again, and then eventually you get sidetracked. You are stuck in the, thinking about whatever you're thinking. Then you realize that you should be meditating, and you come back and you do this for half an hour. And this is, meditation. Now, when we turn back to fasting, I was saying that the first 7 days, that fasting is actually it's similar to meditating. You in the beginning of you go through life when you drink water only. So imagine it's like sitting with your eyes closed, and as you go through life during fasting, thoughts of food will appear. And not only thoughts of food, but they will be supported by various tastes that you will feel in your mouth. So these thoughts will appear. And in the beginning, somehow they have no strength. But as they keep on going and going, they will have a bigger and bigger pull. In fact, if you check the the preview photo for this stream, that's exactly the way I screamed there. That's exactly how eventually the cravings for food will. That's how they will seem to you. And the trick to go through it is that in the beginning of the water fast, you the physiologically, the trick is to get into ketosis. Once you get into ketosis, the cravings and whatever feelings you have will go away. And this takes about 5-6 days. It's actually individual. So when you go through through the first 5, 6, 7 days, I always, it's whatever you feel, whatever cravings you have, that they are just your mind playing games with you. And every time you feel it, you should tell yourself, hey, no matter what's going to happen the next 7 days, I will drink water only and I will not eat any food. And then you realize, okay, yeah, that's like coming back to the meditation. So when you're meditating, a thought comes, takes you, grabs you away, then you ride the thought. And then during the thought, all of a sudden you realize, hey, I'm meditating. I should go back to paying attention to my breath. And you go back. And when you do that, you will realize that the thought doesn't have any strength on you. And then even if it comes back and grabs you again, you're like, oh, again. You realize it that you should be going back to the breathing, and you go back to the breathing. And that's the same thing with the first 7 days of fasting. To get to the period where you in ketosis, you have to remind yourself every time a thought comes, you should tell yourself, I'm not hungry, I'm not starving. And I'm not talking about power of suggestion. This is, you know this, that no matter what's going to happen, you can live the first 7 days without food, drinking water. You will do it no problem. And everything that shows up, it's, you know, it's it's just your mind and body playing tricks on you because it craves the sugar. So if you drink water for 7 days, you can do it. Now, because I said it's the same as meditation, the first 7 days are like the first, let's say, 1 minute during a meditation before your body slows down and cools in and sets in. And then after only 30 seconds, minute, 2 minutes, you're in the meditative state. Then you start doing the meditation. It's the same thing with water fasting, because water fasting, the first 7 days, you can view it as just settling down in the meditation, because the real power of water fasting, of entry point water fasting, is to get into the ketosis state. Because when you get into the ketosis state in 7 days, which is in my case in 3 days, so in the 7 days, 3 days from now, you enter the ketosis state, which is the meditative state. Just like with meditation, after a few minutes, then you get into the meditative state. And here is where it all starts. And what starts? Well, in the first instance of meditating, people meditate because they want to calm down, but they don't realize that it's not the act of meditating that makes them calm down. But what happens is that because you are forced to, whatever you feel, hear, whatever thoughts appear, whatever fantasy appear, to always come back, that teaches you that it's not real. They are just some thoughts, and that you have the choice of paying attention to the thought or no. And as you learn this, it relaxes your whole system, because the system doesn't have to worry about all the information that's popping out. Because every time you can just say, hey, it's just my mind playing tricks. It's just my mind playing tricks. And then when you take it into everyday life, this helps you not to get so stressed out over situations that at the first glance they seem like it's like a big thing. But in reality, when you make a little distance between you and the situation, you realize it's actually fine and it's under control. So this is what you train during meditation, but also this is what you train during the entry point water fast. That you have to know how to use the meditation, or use the fasting as a meditation, to work with the taste and all these cravings that you will have. Hey, I'm fasting the first 7 days. This is not what I'll be paying attention to, and you go back to fasting. Now, what happens if during meditation you break down and you say, you know what, after 7 minutes, I will not do it for half an hour. My back hurts. It's useless. Nothing is changing, happening. It's boring, and you stop. Or what happens if after 3-4 days you stop the fasting? Well, guys, nothing bad is happening. The best thing that just happened is that you now know how weak towards the mind you are, how your consciousness is enslaved, virtually enslaved by your mind, that whatever the mind says, you should have a Mars bar, you should drink Coke, you should go to McDonald's, you should, whatever, that you are enslaved and you will just obey your taste buds. It's good to know. It's I think it's much better if someone knows that they are a pedophile than someone who doesn't realize that they are a pedophile. Because someone who realizes it can actually seek help. and not harm other people. Same with an alcoholic. Someone who realizes they are an alcoholic, it's much easier for them to break through it than for those who don't realize it. And this is what we use the entry point water fast to measure the strength and how enslaved we are by our thoughts and feelings. Now, the next stream I will do will be probably the in 3 4 days when we get into keto state, because then I will start talking about where the entry point fasting can lead. And as a hint, if you cannot wait, check where meditation can lead and what it can bring to you and into your life. And I'm talking about terms like enlightenment, uh, opening eyes, awakening. So take care, write me comments, and see you soon. Bye bye. And good luck with your water fast. Remember, I just drink water and not eat any food for 7 days. No problem, everyone.